Thank you for the introduction. I hope I just started the right presentation. I think it will last a few seconds. Yes, there it is. So, welcome everybody to our presentation. As we heard before, there are a lot of international programs in Germany. There are a lot of programs that are held in English. I just noticed that there are over 1,700, but there are much more study programs, of course, that are held in German, and for such programs held in German, it is very important to show enough language skills in the German language. So I will tell you a little bit about this requirements for that test. And there's, of course, another test, a scholastic aptitude test. An increasing number of universities require a scholastic aptitude test for admission, and I will tell you a few facts about that test. So let me start with the TestDaf. The test Deutsch als Fremdsprache. In English, it's called Test of German as a Foreign Language. It's a test on an advanced level. It's the level that is required by the German universities. It's a level that is required to be successful in studies, to succeed in the studies, and that's on the level B2 to C1 of the Common European Framework of Languages. The most important fact is you need this language certificate if you want to study a program in German that is held in German. And of course, all the German universities accept this certificate. So it's the only certificate that is accepted by all German universities. If you once take that test, if you once have received a certificate of the TestDaf, this TestDaf has an unlimited validity, so you can use it whenever you want. How is the test structured? The test consists of 4 parts. It consists of a reading part, of a listening part, of a written part, and of a spoken part. So you will start with the reading part. You have to do some writing items. Then you will listen to a text, and you have to show that you have understand what they say there, and you have to solve some questions. You have to write an academic text, and you will do some speaking tasks, 7 speaking parts. After the test, you will get a level in each test part. So you will get the level 3, 4, or 5 in each test part. And those levels, those TestDaf levels, TDN, TestDaf Niveaustufen, that means in English TestDaf levels, these TestDaf levels are correspondent to B2 and C1 on the Common European Framework of Languages. The universities in Germany generally require the TestDaf level 4 in each test part. So you don't have to show the highest level, but the level 4 will be sufficient for most of the universities. Perhaps you remember what there is said before, that there are a lot of universities of applied sciences in Germany. Those universities often accept the TestDaf level 3, so the level B2. to give you an impression which language level there is needed, you generally reach TestDaf level 3 after 600 to 800 hours or lessons of German. When can you take the TestDaf? You can take the TestDaf all over the world on 6 test dates. There are 5 test dates left for this year. The next test date will be in April, and after that in May, in July, and September, and November. And then next year there will be the first test date in February. So you have fixed test dates, and to take the test on one of these test dates, you have to apply right before the test. There is a registration period where you can apply for the test, and these application period will generally close 4 weeks before the test. So where can you take the test? Or just let me tell you where you can apply for the test. You have to click on TestDaf.de, and there you have to click on Anmeldung zum TestDaf. That means registration for the TestDaf. And then you have to do the registration procedure online. When you register for the TestDaf, you have to choose a test center where you can take the test, where you want to take the test. And probably you will find a test center in India. There are 5 test centers in 5 cities. For example, the Max Müller Bhavan in New Delhi, and so on. So there are 5 test centers all over India. To get in contact with those test centers, just go to the TestDaf website and there click on Unsere Testzentren. That means our test centers. A very important thing to point out is that you should be well prepared for the test. It's not only important that you have learned enough German, furthermore, it's important to know as much as possible about the structure of the test, about the format of the questions, how is the test structured. And to know more about that, you have to click on testdaf.de, and there you can search for the so-called Modelltest, the model test, the model test 1 and the model test 2. And another recommendation is to click on fit in TestDaf. That means fit for the TestDaf. There you can prove your language skills, and you will have to get an answer if you're already prepared for the test. Of course, there are a lot of preparation books. There are books offered by the Huber Verlag or by the Klett Verlag, which you can use to prepare for the test. Another option is to take a preparation course for the TestDaf. The Max Müller Bhavans, they offer language courses or preparation courses for the TestDaf. This is an online course that is offered by the University of Munich. It's called TestDaf Training, and you have to go to deutsch-udi.com/TestDaf Training. This is an excellent option to prepare with the guidance of a tutor and to do a mock exam before the TestDaf. It's offered as a 4-week course or as a 3-month course, and it's a very excellent preparation for the TestDaf. You can do that online wherever you are and whenever you want. Once you have taken the test, you will receive a certificate. There are three things which are important to know about this certificate. It's of course accepted by all universities in Germany. It has an unlimited validity, and very interesting, on the back side of the certificate there are explanations about your skills. And these explanations are not only important for the university, they are of course important if you want to apply at a German-speaking company, at a German-speaking company, wherever it is. And those explanations are in German and in English as well. So the second test I want to explain is no language test. It is an aptitude test that is required by about 50 universities in Germany. Those universities require that test for special programs or for all programs, and it's for them important to know if the student will be able to succeed in the studies. And so the test, it's called TestDaf. The TestDaf analyzes the skills that are necessary if you want to be successful in the studies. So if you take this test and you will get the certificate, this will increase your chances to be applied at the university. The test has two parts. There's a core test that proves general cognitive abilities that are needed for studies. And after the core test, you have to choose one of those subject-specific test modules, and you choose the test module according to your study program that you are planning to take or to apply for. Probably a good message for you. You can take the test both in English or in German, so you can select the language that you are better at. The test is offered 3 times per year. This year there are still 2 tests left. Just like the TestDaf, there's a registration period, and the registration periods will end 6 weeks before the test. And so, as you can see, the application period for the next test in April will end next week. The application procedure is comparable with the TestDaf. You have to go on the website. There's an English website, www.testdaf.de/en, and there you have to click on registration, and then you can register for the TestDaf. And the first thing you will do is to choose the test center where you want to take the test. And there are 3 test centers in India. Those are the Max Müller ones in Bangalore, Chennai, and New Delhi. Of course, we recommend to prepare for the test, to familiarize yourself with the task and the requirements, the questions. We recommend to work with the sample questions. There are sample questions with all types of questions of the core test and of the subject-specific modules. Those questions are very helpful to know what kind of questions you have to solve in the test later on. You can download those questions on the website. They are for free, of course. Of course, you can take a language course just to prepare for the test. There are language courses, online language courses, offered by the University of Munich as well. Those are subject-specific language courses. You can choose a subject-specific language course according to your study program. But it's for you important to know that those courses are on the level C1, so you have German language levels on an advanced level. To find those language courses, you have to click on deutsch-uni.com/Fach-Deutsch. After taking the TestDaf, you will get a certificate with detailed results and with an unlimited validity. Shows all your results in all test parts, and that's what you have to show if you want to apply at one of those 50 universities. So I come to an end just now. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your interest. Let me answer your questions.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Kambugler, for this very comprehensive presentation that you gave us here. I was also noting some of the questions that the students are sending in, and I think we have some 5-6 minutes to maybe address some of these questions. Now, let me just check. I also would like to mention to all the students, some of you are asking, why is my question not being answered? Unfortunately, we are being flooded with questions right now, and my colleagues are at it answering questions one after the other. So please have a little patience. If not now, then a little later you will receive your answers by mail. One question, Mr. Kambugler, that came up a number of times. Parth had asked this question, and I had asked this question. It's about them having the Goethe certifications of, let's say, B1 and B2. So in this case, would it still be advisable or required for them to take something like a TestDaf? Would you be able to throw some light on that, please?
So, of course, the Goethe Institute, the Max Müller Bar, they offer language certificates on each level. The level B1 and the level B1 will not be sufficient for a study program held in German. But that is a certificate that could be helpful if you want to apply for a study program held in English. So then you can show that you are able to speak German. But to apply for a program in German, you have to show certificate on a higher level. The certificate Goethe B2 is on a higher level, yes, of course, but that's no certificate for university. So the universities won't accept it. And to show an accepted certificate, so you have to take the TestDaf once more, yes.
Thank you for the answer, Mr. Kambugler. I would proceed, but I'd also like to mention here, for the benefit of all the other attendees of this webinar, there is a question and answer window, and some of the questions that have been posed by other candidates have been answered, so it might just be worthwhile for you to check the answers that we've already typed, because I think that will, in many cases, also answer your queries. Now we have some more questions. The TestDaf There's Himali who lives in Mumbai, it seems, and was asking if the TestDaf can also be given in Mumbai, since there is a Max Müller Bhavan or a Goethe Institute. But I saw that it was not mentioned as a test center.
Yes,
is that right?
Unfortunately, the TestDaf is not offered in Mumbai. So unfortunately, you have to travel to Pune, for example, or you have to you may go to the Goethe Institute and to criticize that and to ask them to offer the TestDaf as well. So you should know the TestDaf is an official Goethe certificate, but not all of the Goethe Institutes they offer the TestDaf. It's only offered in New Delhi and in Pune and in Bangalore and in Chennai.
Great. Thank you for that. We had another question that was about medical studies in Germany. Someone who was asking, I'm sorry I didn't catch the name, who said he wants to do medical residency in Germany, and for that some other German language proficiency tests are required. Would a TestDaf or something related to that be helpful for such a person?
Yes, of course. Since the TestDaf is accepted by all German universities, it's of course absolutely sensible to show the TestDaf if you want to apply for a medicine program or something like that. So absolutely. And you won't show another certificate. The TestDaf will be enough.
All right. And I think maybe if we have time for one more question here. Is TestDaf training paid for? That was the question Shriram was asking. TestDaf training, whether it is paid for, yes, or whether it is... yeah? Yes.
The price for that course will be 295 euros. It could be taken as a 4-week fast lane course, or it can be taken as a 3-month course. It's guided by a tutor, and that's the reason why you have to pay 295 euros for that course.
Okay. Now, since there were many questions also that I think some students might have been getting confused, I'd like to throw some light on the fact. If you're applying for a study program in which the medium of instruction is English, then it will not be mandatory for you to provide a TestDaf score or anything of that kind. In those cases, universities insist that you give them a language proficiency proof, which is English, and either the TOEFL or the IELTS is acceptable by most German institutions. So I think there was some panic where people thought, I need to have this even if my course is in English medium. So please, just to clarify that. All right. And I think with that we have come more or less to the end of this one particular session. I'll just check if there's any other question that we could pick up from here. Otherwise, I would suggest that we move on. 1 second, please. Yeah, now the questions are a little repetitive that you already mentioned. Mr. Kembugler had mentioned the language Goethe certificates. Many of you are asking an A1 or an A2, and I think that level of proficiency will not correspond and will not be sufficient for university level studies in Germany. So, Mr. Kembugler, what again is the Goethe C1 would be a requirement if students want to take up university studies, level studies in Germany, or is a B2 acceptable?
As I heard here in Germany, there are a few universities which accept the Goethe certificate C1 because it's on a higher level. But the Goethe certificate C1 is not an official study application certificate. So you have to, if you already have taken the Goethe certificate C1 and you have the Goethe certificate C1, you have to ask the university if you can apply with that certificate, but generally it's no certificate for study admission. Maybe there are a few universities which accept that certificate.
All right, I think that's very useful information. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And looking at my watch, I think now it's a good time to thank you for your inputs, Mr. Kembugler. It was very enriching to listening to what you had to share with the students. And I'm sure that we will be sending a lot of other questions your way, which we could not answer now in this half an hour slot that we had. But thank you so much for joining us.
It will be a pleasure to send you the answers to those questions. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.